Going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Books and Buds, where we discuss the books that we feel you should be paying attention to. Some of the lesser-known authors, not like your Stephen Kings or your J.K. Rowlings, although we do cover those guys too now and again because they get the clicks, and I want the people that I'm trying to help to get some publicity here. So one thing that I've noticed recently is since I'm a member, I'm a writer for Rhetoric Askew Publishing. I do cover a lot of the books on this channel by writers that are also signed to Rhetoric Askew, but I never put Rhetoric Askew's website in the description below. So along with BurningBush207.com, the company that sponsors this channel, I'm also going to be leaving a link for Rhetoric Askew in there too, so you can go through. It's very tough to review all the authors that write for this company because they have over 50. And, I only have so much time in a day. So that way there you can skirt through the website. If you see a genre or a writer or a book that just piques your interest and you decide to give it a shot, let me know in the comments. Tell me if you think I should be covering another author from that company that I might not be covering, or any author for that matter. If you feel there's an author that I should be covering and I'm just not getting to them, let me know. That's what we do here. We try to support people. We try to support the writers that could use the help, if for some reason their books just aren't garnering the sales that a lot of people think they should. So, that brings me to today's book. My buddy Shawn Burgess, like I said, Rhetoric Askew authors, he's one of them, and I've been looking forward to his book more than any other. Because when I read the description of what it's about, it really just piqued my interest. I saved it for this week because we're wrapping up horror month, and his book, The Tear Collector, is a horror. Now, when I read the description, a lot of people are comparing it to It by Stephen King, and a lot of other people are comparing it to Stranger Things, the show on Netflix. It's a good show, and I can see why people are comparing it to both those things, because it's kind of like, it's not your kind of horror that's gonna gross you out or is gonna make you hold your covers up over your head at night. It's kiddie horror, It's fun. It's fun stuff. It's just fun to watch with the family, and as far as I'm concerned, if they made a movie out of this or a miniseries out of this book, it'd be the kind of thing you could sit around the house and eat some popcorn with your wife and kids, and it'd be something you would all enjoy. But with that said, there is still some elements of horror, some gore. There's some monsters. There's a professor, and the reason people keep saying it's kind of like Stranger Things is because there's this band of 4 kids. One of them's the main character, and some chapters it's written in first person, dealing with this young boy named Brooks. So he's having a hard time making some friends, and right away in the book, he becomes friends with these 2 other guys, and then his new neighbor, this other kid that comes into town, Devin, he also becomes their friend. So we got Robbie, we got T, we got Brooks, and we got Devin. So that's your 4 main characters pretty much. And then our side characters, we got this kid named Brady, who right away in the book, kind of the prologue, I guess. He started a fire. He didn't mean to start, but he ended up going to juvenile hall for a few years because of it. In juvenile hall, he only got pretty much one visitor besides his parents, and it was the local scientist, the local professor, who was dishonorably... He was fired. He was fired from his job at one of these Ivy League colleges. I forget which one it was, because he was doing some extreme experiments that they disagreed with, the college disagreed with. But for some reason, this gentleman, this professor, kept visiting this young boy. And later on in the book, we discover why. Because the professor seems to be one of the only damn people that knows what's going on in this town, and the unfortunate Bradley, who now is in juvenile hall. So then we also have this character, who's another major character, Detective Holt. And this is where it's really like Stranger Things, is because Detective Holt, he's a cop. He's working with these children to solve the mystery that nobody else in town seems to even know about or care about for whatever reason. They don't even know what's going on. I think that might also be why it's kind of like why people are comparing it to Stephen King's It, is because there's this band of children that are working together trying to get rid of this evil entity that's plaguing their town and has been plaguing their town for generations. But with that said, Shawn Burgess does a great job making his own damn story out of this. I mean, it's very hard to write anything original nowadays, but that's just going down to, your basic story ideas. I mean, he has an original plot here. It is very interesting with all the backstory because the children spend some time in the library finding out exactly what's going on. So Shawn layers his story beautifully with all the different characters and everything that's going on in the town. So he gives you a really good description of what the town's going on, what the town looks like, and the people. Oh, that's another thing that kind of reminded me a little bit. It was one of the kids in town. Him and his dumb friends were the bullies. But I'm telling you, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. There's really no other linkage to Stephen King's It or Stranger Things. So I do agree why people were saying it, and I think that Shawn should take it as a compliment because he was able to do this and make a story of his own out of it. So that's basically what it is. There's just some crazy disappearances going on in town. Starts off with Margot Combs. She's a young girl with autism, so she goes missing, and the boys decide they want to help, and the police decide that they're going to let the boys help because there's more going on in this town that they're aware of, and it comes down to it towards the middle or the end of the book, towards the middle-ish end of the book, where the detective realizes that all these kids and the professor and everybody else knows what's going on except for him, so they all start kind of working together at the end to wrap this whole thing up, and Shawn just does a hell of a job. So Shawn's the man. He sent me a signed copy of an advanced review. I'm not going to show you the book because it's just a blank cover. It's a review copy, but I'll be leaving a link to it in the description below. So we'll be leaving a link for Rhetoric Askew's webpage. We'll be leaving a link to Burning Bush 207, our sponsors. If you're a medical marijuana card holder in the state of Maine, please go to burningbush207.com and find your new caregiver. And I'm going to be leaving a link to Shawn's book because it was fantastic. Like I said, I was looking forward to it for a long time. There's a reason I saved it for this week. Halloween is on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. So, guys, get out there, get your spook on, dude. It is Halloween, and this is a great book for it. It's really good to read with your family, too, if you like to read to your kids. And it's not going to scare them before bed at night. It's a great time of year to get your spook on. Just break out break out the candy corn, read a little bit of spooky stories in front of the hot fireplace with your kids. Yeah, just get your Halloween on, guys. Shawn Burgess is the guy to do it with, the Tear Collector. Keep your eyes out for this guy. Keep your eyes out for him. He's educated. He's got himself a 4-year degree in English, and it shows with this book. His dialogue, his prose, perfect balance. The guy knows what he's doing. I was impressed. I love you guys. That's it for today's episode. We'll catch you all next time.